Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to create viral YouTube shorts using N8N and AI agents, okay? And this entire workflow right here will be available as a free JSON template download, meaning check out below the video in the description box. There's going to be a link to download this entire JSON template. And once you do, just go to your N8N, create a workflow and import the flow through the three dots right here. And if you don't have N8N yet, then in the comment section, there will be my personal comment and there will be a partner/affiliate link to create an account with N8N. So if you want to support the channel, definitely go ahead and do that. And before I dive into the entire workflow, let me show you the type of videos it generates. So this is going to be the first one. And again, we have the video and the audio, and then we're merging everything together and stitching it all together into a single MP4 file. This is one of the videos, and then we have this one right here. So it's one of those like ASMR viral videos you've seen on TikTok getting like millions of views. So now you can do these ones yourself, or I'll show you where you can adjust the prompt as well, right? So the tool stack is as following. So N8N, OpenAI for the APIs, obviously. Then we're using a Seedance AI model to generate actual videos. And Seedance is a model created by TikTok or ByteDance, right? And it's super cheap. If you look at my screen right here, it's only costing 15 cents per single run, where if you're using something like VEO or VEO3, it's going to cost you around $3 or $2.25, something in that direction. So there's a huge difference. The only downside is you need to create a separate audio file through File API, but it's costing like 0.00 something cents. So creating audio is actually super cheap in File API. So you will need basically File API keys, WaveSpeed AI API keys. Okay, so file, WaveSpeed, and then we're using something called CreatorMate. And CreatorMate is a platform that has API access, and it lets you stitch videos together, right? So I have this base template with a cat, which essentially creates a placeholder track for video and audio. And then we're using the JSON right here to communicate that with the N8N. So if I go here to stitch audio, this is the HTTP node to send the request to the CreatorMate. And here we have essentially the same structure, right? So we are using audio tracks. We just need to adjust the name. So 6W6 and 563 for video. If we go look back here, these are the exact naming conventions in here. So we're just basically matching from here, and we are plugging that into a N8N. And when it generates and stitches everything together, it's going to use the template as the default base template and plug in the generated audio from File and WaveSpeed API in a nutshell, right? So those are the platforms you need. They're free to start. Well, not exactly all of them. So CreatorMate gives you a generous tier of 50 videos you can generate for free. So basically you can generate 50 videos together. In a sense, you can do 50 stitches, okay, to be precise. You can use CreatorMate and have 50 stitches to stitch the audio and video together. So you get 50 of those. So it's a good generous tier right there. If you run out of it, just create a new account if you want through new email. If you are on a tight budget, I get it. WaveSpeed, again, is going to cost you 15 cents for each video, right? So it's still pretty budget friendly to start with. And then your File API, which is like really cheap for creating audio, is like 0.00 something, right? So it's like, I wouldn't even consider a expense at this point, like it's that level of cheap. Awesome, guys. And then we're logging everything into a spreadsheet, and spreadsheet is for free, obviously. And I'll also link it in the description box for you guys to download it, so you have everything pretty much set up and ready to go. And once you download Spreadsheet, make sure to drop that into your Google account, into Spreadsheets. And then you're going to go here and you're going to find this node right here where we're saying log to Google. Then click here, okay, create new credential, and make sure you just simply sign in with your Gmail. And basically it's going to sync everything, and then you will be able to see that spreadsheet in here. So if I open up the spreadsheet node again, just click here where it says Seedance videos N8N. So if you uploaded the spreadsheet that you downloaded, you should see it right here, okay? So that's about it, and then you'll be able to successfully log all those videos, okay? So let's now just kind of walk through how it works. So the whole magic happens here. So once you click execute workflow, it's going to basically trigger the entire workflow, okay? And we have an agent that basically does everything for us in a sense. So we have the prompt, okay? And prompt is very simple, generate a new ASMR video concept following the example, right? So it's gonna be dynamically generating new concepts and ideas, and it just will be using this reference system message, right? So we are defining how it should behave at all times, because there's some important factors to kind of a note. There is an expected JSON format that the flow is expecting for the API. So we have idea, we have the prompt and the audio prompt, right? So here I'm providing a JSON example to AI agent, okay? So it kind of knows the structure. And then we're saying like and then we have some rules, okay? You might find this one funny, okay? Because I'm saying keep the hand description exactly as in the example. Because the issue I was facing with the initial videos, I don't know if I have it still here. Okay, no, I think it was a while ago, so I don't think it's been, yeah, so no. So the issue was basically with my initial videos when the video was generated, it was generating basically three hands, right? So I had like two hands holding the object, and then the third hand was basically cutting the object over the two hands. So it was kind of weird. So I had to adjust the prompt, right? To make sure that we don't have any extra hands. So just kind of giving rules to the AI agent so it gives a properly structured prompt to the AI model, right? Because otherwise it's going to do hallucinations and it's going to create like weird artifacts in a sense, right? So just again, we are saying basically a randomized object. So every time there's a new workflow run, it's a different object, different environment, a bit, right? So different scene. And then we're saying do not include anything outside the JSON object, right? So to really strictly follow the JSON object because it's important. In a sense, right here, right? We have a output parser, an output parser tool essentially, or node or subnode, whatever, formats the JSON output in a specific format for an API, right? Because API is expecting this. So idea prompt and audio prompt. So we are making sure that that's the JSON format that is passed to the APIs, right? And then we're using the OpenAI model, okay? Because agent node right here on its own doesn't do anything. It has to have a chat model attached to it, right? And then we're sending everything to a HTTP node, and here we're using post because we're posting something. We're sending a data to an API. In this case, it's a wave speed API, right? Credentials. Again, you need to create your own, and then you're gonna click here, create new credentials. You're gonna enter here. I believe it's authorization, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just quickly look at it. So your authorization, and here you're gonna plug in your API key from WaveSpeed, and I think it should be prefixed using name word barrier, right? So if you go to WaveSpeed API docs, you should be able to see that in there. So it would be something like this barrier, and then you're gonna have your API key, right? So you need to copy the API key with the word barrier. That's super important. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. And then you copy paste that into your value input box right here. Okay, that's for that. Then really important, we're waiting for the video for 60 seconds because it takes time to generate a video. So waiting for 60 seconds. Then we're getting the result of the video, and then we're checking the status, right? But if the status is still in queue, right, or basically it's not ready yet, then it's going to go to wait 60 more seconds, okay, just in case video hasn't processed yet, or it's still in process or processing or in queue. So it's sort of a retry loop, so we don't crash the flow, and then it's going to check the video again, and if the API endpoint status is completed, then it's going to go to the next one, which is going to be create sound effect. And here it's kind of a similar approach. We're using file API, same thing for credentials, same thing. You need to have the barrier and authorization. Then we're sending the body, right? Because basically in body, we are providing the prompt for the audio from the AI agent, okay? And then again, we're waiting for audio roughly 90 seconds. That's kind of the sweet spot. I didn't create a retry loop because I tested it a couple times. I did like 5 videos in a row, and all 5 times basically passed. So 90 seconds kind of was a sweet spot. I tried 60 seconds. It was too little. So 90 seconds is good. So I'm kind of avoiding adding extra nodes for the retry loop, okay? Then we're getting the audio, and that's done through the HTTP node, and we're using basically a GET request because we're getting a data from the HTTP from the API, right? We're using GET method for that to get something. And then we're merging everything. It's a merge node, so it's a real simple one. So we're combining two inputs, okay? And then we are stitching everything together. Here, that's kind of where the magic happens. We're using CreatorMate. Okay, so all these URL endpoints I found in the official documentations. Okay, so if you're playing around with the APIs, I do suggest going to documentations and kind of seeing what are the endpoints. If you're going to use something like Cloud or ChatGPT to generate, usually they make mistakes because they use outdated documentation. So always make sure to go to official documentation for the API platforms you're using, because that's going to be the most up-to-date information for the endpoints, okay? And here's the template ID. And if I go to CreatorMate, the way I got it, so if I click here, and I believe it was, let me check. Yeah, so it's going to be use a template, okay? And then you're going to click on the API integration right here. And once you do that, you're going to see your template ID. I'm not showing it because it's going to expose the API key. In any case, even if it's exposed, the account is free. So by any chance, if you guys have my API key, it doesn't really matter. It's a free account, but the best industry practice to keep API keys in safe place. You don't share it with everybody, because if somebody has it, they're going to use it and your credits will be gone in like 24 hours, okay? But again, click on the three dots, use template, and you're going to see the template ID, which we're using right here. And these ones are basically coming from here. If I click on edit the template on the JSON source here, basically this is the ID for the audio track, and this is the ID for the video track. And then we are using it right here as modifications because we are modifying the both tracks, okay? Then we're waiting for the render for 45 seconds. That's kind of sweet spot, getting the final video using the get request right here. We're pulling it from the API creatormate.com. Again, I pulled these ones from their official document, and then we're using the variable, which is a JSON, because we need to pull a specific JSON ID from the input here. Okay, so let me run the flow. Okay, and yeah, and at the end, obviously, we're logging everything into a spreadsheet, and here we're kind of defining the variables for what we want to log, right? So here we have the output ID, but again, it's gonna be more visual once I actually run the flow. So let me guys run it, and then we'll kind of go quickly through those so you can kind of see it visually, all right? So let me execute the workflow. That's how you do it. It's gonna run the entire thing, and then it's gonna run its whole thing. So it's gonna wait. So I'll get back to you guys. I'll put you in a brief pause, and I'll be right back once everything is done, so we can go through everything quickly. All right, I'm not gonna make you wait. But not to waste your time, well, it's actually doing its thing. If I open up the AI agent, so you can kind of see how everything is happening behind the scenes. So here it used the template that we predefined in the system message, right? And here it created its own script now. So ASMR video of hands gently cracking open a frosted blue egg-shaped soap, okay? So if we look at the system message, that's not the same. It's not the same. It just kind of mentions ASMR of hands delicately slicing into a glowing cherry. So here we're talking about a cherry-shaped stone. And here it's dynamically creating its own ideas based on example here, right? So then we have prompt, and then we have the audio prompt describing the audio, okay? And then it basically sends everything to the HTTP, which is right here. You guys can see this was the output, and then we sent all of this to the WaveSpeed API. So we have a success, everything went through. It went to the correct ML model for the AI generation. Here is the API to get the result afterwards, okay? Then we're checking, so you guys can see the video was a success, but if we are trying, let me just see, so here you guys can see, so it's looking for a status of equal, but since it was processing, it went on a retry loop, okay? So once it's completed, then it's gonna move on to the create sound effects. That's what it did. So now the status changed to completed right here. So that's the match. It's matching completed. So now we're moving on to the next node, which is creating a sound effect. So that's going to take roughly 90 seconds. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to get the audio result, and then it's going to merge everything and stitch everything with the using CreatorMate API right here. All right, so the audio passed. It was generated. It went through, right? So it's good to go. It's completed here. The audio result is also good to go. So here we see the wave file. Cool. So now it's going to be merged. So here it went with the creator made. Here we have the input and the output. And here we have the two outputs for the video and audio. And everything got merged into a single file right here as an MP4. So here, yeah, here it's going to be this one, right? So we had the modifications for the video audio, and then it's merging everything into a single track. And now we're going to wait for the render, meaning that it takes a couple of seconds. If I go to API log here, I should see the video. So it's actually completed. And here's the video that it generated. Nice. And now we should be able to get this video. Actually, we had a problem. Let's see what happened here. Okay, it looks like we just had too many. We had too many requests through through the Google service for the spreadsheets, because I've been generating a lot of videos and it's been sending a lot of data to the spreadsheets. So they basically saying I reached my free or daily quota because they're limiting it. But again, everything went through. You will not see this on your end unless you're generating like a bunch of videos every couple of minutes. If you're doing a healthy ratio, like 1 or 2 videos daily for YouTube, that's going to be fine. I basically exceeded my daily quota here, which is really funny because I never hit limits for my spreadsheets logging quota yet. This is the first one actually. But anyways, we have the video. I can just pull it manually. It should be this one right here. So if I copy it and download it, there you go, guys. So we have it. Nice. Cool. Yeah, there you go, guys. Everything's working. So I'll just log it manually, old school. I'll just put the link right here, and it's also completed. Okay. And awesome. Okay, guys. I hope you learned something and it was fun. Okay, because it's always fun to make these ones. And again, don't forget to download it as a freebie, because it's available as a free download. Below the video in the description box, there's going to be a link. And that's about it. There's also a pretty extensive beginner-friendly sticky note right here. So if you guys need to run into any issues, make sure to kind of refer to this one right here. If not, leave a comment. Let me know what's the problem, what's the error. I'm going to help you out. And guys, if you did enjoy the video, I'm going to ask you one thing. Like and subscribe and enable notifications so you get notified when the next video like this drops. Because it's always value packed and always providing these free JSON templates. And I'm always here to help you guys succeed with your N8N automation and goals, guys. Okay. And you already know, as always, I'm going to see you next time, and happy building.